Okay, I'm going to pull up my little agenda here. All right, so I want to welcome everybody to the meeting today, and I would like to just tell everybody that the things that we're going over in this meeting are covered in the information packet that I sent to you. That we will go into more detail with this, but if you have any questions, I ask that you put it in the chat. And then we'll get to those when it's time appropriate, and hopefully we can get to it when we're talking about that subject. But if not, then um, we are going to start with the very first thing that you have to do, which is pick up your team packet. And your team packet will have to be picked up before you can get back into the parking area for your teams and buses or vans and cars and so forth. If you have a bus, then we need to talk about where that goes, but it wouldn't be Lot A. Excuse me. So Jacob Van Westen is from our office here. He's my partner in wrestling, and we tackle this. He is the one that heads up all the team packet pickup stuff. And your team packets will include your contestant passes, which are the passes that you give to your wrestlers. I suggest, and most coaches that are veterans, I think, do this. You keep all the passes yourself and then pass them out by session right before you come in for that session because we do not replace those passes for the contestants. The contestants, even though they only wrestle in 4 sessions, will get a session for all passes. And like I said, we won't replace those. So, coach, you guys are in charge of getting those to your wrestlers in the right manner. You get your coaches' lanyards, and we'll go over that. Your coaches' wristbands, which get you in. Parade of a Champion information for Friday for boys and Wednesday for girls. You have an RMH flyer, which is our scale company, which is fantastic. They do that, not only sell them, but they calibrate them. Clean Core Flyer, which is the cleaning system that we use to clean the mats at the wrestling tournament in between every session. Dolomer Flyer, we are great partners with Dolomer. We actually sold 18 different school districts. Well, 18 different mats were sold this year through our Dolomer agreement for state championship and state duels. And then you'll have an event level layout and then Lot A map, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But you'll directions to Lot A because of construction again around that capital area, just south of CHI, where you usually take it to go to Lot A, is kind of jacked up with construction. So there is a map to show you how to get to there. But we're going to talk about team packet pickup first with girls and then with boys. And I'm going to let Jacob Van Westen go over that stuff.
All right, so for the girls' team packet pickup, there is only one time, and that'll be 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. on that Tuesday before we start wrestling. You'll use those northbound 10th Street lane, and there's a curb cutout that you can pull into. And then once you get in there, we'll have that whole north wall lined with all your packets. And like Ron said, your packets will show on the front what's all included in it, including all your coaches at your 80s marked down for your list. And that'll be the time when you want to purchase any extras. Myself and Megan Huber in our office will be there handling that. For girls, those are only $30 if you're writing checks, and then any debit or credit card purchases on site.
Jake, we lost you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right. Like I said, the credit and debit card purchasers will have a 4% fee. Um, but like I said, there's only one girls packet pickup time, and boys teams cannot pick up their packet during that time, even if it's the same coaches. We just do not have those ready yet. The boys pickup times will be Wednesday. The early team check-in is 4:30 to 8 p.m. Yes, it's during the finals, but we want to give an opportunity out the day prior. And then also Thursday morning, we'll be there from 7 to 7:45 in the morning for any of those early teams. And then another time from 11:30 a.m. to 11:15 p.m. for any of those late teams. All this information is included in that packet. The only difference between boys and girls is the boys wristband is $60, and it just gets you into every single session just like the girls would.
So the receipts for any credit card purchases, aren't they emailed, Jacob?
Yep. You'll get an option at the team check-in on our reader to send an email receipt.
And we've been communicating heavily with the ADs and really following up with them to make sure that they have all of the um, coaches listed, because if the coach is not listed, you can't purchase those additional wristbands. Based on the number of qualifiers, and that's all in your packet, based on the number of qualifiers, you'll get a certain number of wristbands at no cost, lanyards at no cost. And if you want uh, more wristbands, then you can purchase them, but you cannot purchase more lanyards. The lanyard system is the mat side access. You need to have those lanyards showing when you're coaching. If you're not coaching, we ask that you not just stand around and watch matches on those sides. We have a lot of people paying a lot of money to be at those, and the sidelines get blocked when everybody just stands around and watches match because they're good matches. We'll have matches streaming by the warm-up area, so you can see all of those matches from there. Or we ask that the only ones that are on uh, behind the mats, behind the scoring tables, and so forth along those sides are wrestlers that are on deck only. In the hole, we ask that you wait till you're on deck to come out. That's just a way to keep things clear. And CHI does a really good job of making sure that they monitor that. And I ask that you treat them with respect. I know it's sometimes high tension. The sport itself is high tension, but I ask that they're just doing a job. They're doing what we ask them to do. If you have a problem with them, then you come to me, because if they have a problem with you, they also come to me. So the lanyard part is to get you mat side for coaching. Remember, only two coaches are allowed in the corner for each match. And allowed in the corner doesn't mean the third one is standing behind them trying to coach as well. We will police this. We'll ask you to leave. If it gets excessive for a single team, then we'll deal with that by starting taking lanyards from you. So we ask that you do that. We're going to be working with you the best that we can, but we still have to keep that area somewhat clean and follow the rules. All right, so we talked about team packet pickup. Now, the in your packet, I want you to make sure that you pay attention to the map to get to Lot A. That is included in your packet, like on the last page, I believe, one of the last pages. Um, if you don't have that, yeah, no, it's in the middle. Anyway, it's on the back side of the schedule page. It shows you how to come in from Capitol Avenue. You can come from Douglas on that one, I believe. You can still go in, but you have to leave going the other way. That is unfortunate. They don't have any control of it. That's the city. So we're just going to deal with the best we can. They got a lot of construction going on in their facility as well on the convention side. So we talked about the mat side protocol. Participant passes. In your package, you'll receive participant passes for all the qualifying wrestlers that you have. And they'll have session tickets for each one of the sessions. So there'll be 6 session tickets for each one of the wrestlers. Additional personnel must have a wristband or a ticket. So if you have additional coaches, then if they want to come in, they have to have a wristband or a ticket. They can come in that area, but then if you don't have a wristband, you're not going to be able to be on the arena floor. You're going to go into the elevator, and that includes personnel like managers, team managers that'll come in with the team. They don't get those passes, but they'll have to have, and they can't get a wristband, and they don't, so they'll have to have a ticket. They'll a purchase ticket in order to get in there. I've had a lot of people, and we have this quite often with Class D and girls specifically. They asked, can we bring additional people down there to warm up? The answer to that is no. Um, it's we got to try to figure it out. We've been doing it for years with D. Can you imagine? We have over 150 girls' schools that qualify somebody. If they bring they want to bring additional warm up partners. It's just we have 2.5 mats to warm up on when we're not using the 8 mats. It just gets too crowded. That being said, we've managed it throughout the last several years, so I don't anticipate there being any problems, but we do not give them wristbands, we do not give them participant passes. They would have to have a ticket for each session. And managers, like your managers, your student media, people taking pictures, are not allowed on the arena floor. So please tell them that they need to stay in the seats. They can film from the seats, they can keep score from the seats, they can do all the things that they need from the seats. CHI is a reserve seat ticket, uh, reserve seats only. So they'll have to have a ticket, but it's kind of like nomads. They move around a little bit and they can get to where they need to be in order to do that. Um, Coaching attire. This is one of the things that I think that we've done a pretty good job of over the last couple of years. Um, the coaching attire, and we do this because we are more and more visible. This is one of the highest attended championships that we have. Uh, we want to make sure that it looks like a championship, which means coaches, please don't wear hats. Don't wear hats on the arena floor. We have guys that inevitably wear it around on the backside underneath. I don't have an issue with that. But they always, not always, many times forget that they have a hat on and they come and coach in a hat. First time will be a warning. Yeah, if you have a hat, first time will be a warning. Second time we'll start taking team points. In addition to that, please don't wear blue jeans. You can wear just something. We ask that you dress appropriately for a championship coach, and that is just how we're going to do it. So, if you have any issues with that, feel free to contact me, and we'll have a conversation. We've had this question quite often this year. We talk about a weigh-in singlet, and I've sent correspondence out to both officials and coaches, and I believe that there was some issue even in the district tournament weigh-ins. They can weigh in any singlet as long as it's NFHS compliant, meaning you can have a manufacturer logo that's no bigger than 2.5 by 2.5, or it's 2.25 by 2.25 actually. Um, so the manufacturer logo once on the singlet. You can't have any other advertisements on the singlet that doesn't associate with your school, meaning the wrestler's name or weight, the school logo, school mascot, school emblem. Those things are allowed. School name, all those things are allowed, but and they make those lightweight singlets for weigh-ins. Those are as long as they are compliant with the size and they don't have the additional advertisement. I would like to remind everybody that they have to be wearing appropriate undergarments. Both boys and girls have to wear appropriate undergarments. If somebody feels that they're not wearing the appropriate undergarment, we'll pull them out of the lineup of weigh-ins. We'll call the coach and we'll make sure that it gets taken care of. If that's not taken care of by the time weigh-ins are concluded, they could miss weigh-ins and not be able to compete. So be cognizant of that. Make sure that they're following the rules. It's not something that we're mandating that's not in the rule book. It's in the rule book. They have to wear appropriate undergarments, both boys and girls. And girls need to wear undergarment on the top that completely covers the breast. When they're weighing in, there should be no cleavage showing. The tie cut sports bras. That's nothing new. From the very beginning of the year in our rules meeting and additional information that was sent out during the year, that is the expectation. All right. That doesn't mean that it's not going to, it might not stay that way when they're competing, but our goal is to minimize the risk of exposure. We do have a training room that's located on the south end of the facility, and it has medical personnel, both physicians, orthopedic surgeon, and athletic trainers. And you can go to that training room and get taped prior to your or any kind of injury that you sustained during the contest. They're there to take care of you. All right. If you have any questions or anything that you want to talk about with officials, we have two official supervisors, and that's Todd Parr and Bill Phipps. And most of you know who that is, and if you don't, go to the head table and ask them if they can tell you where they're at, and then you can find them and then have the conversation. Go to them first before you come to me. All right? They handle all officials' issues or questions, and if it needs to come to me and we need to meet with you officials or whatever, then that's the progression. So go to Todd Parr and Bill Phipps first with those. We have a Wednesday pizza feed for the girls coaches, which is 11:30 on Wednesday, and the same time on Friday for the boys coaches, and we will continue to announce that pizza feed for the coaches. And then awards presentations. The awards presentations, we ask that the kids wear school attire. We won't allow, just like the coaches, we won't allow them on the award stand with hats, and we won't allow them on the award stands with jeans. Uh, these pictures are for a lot of guys that are just finishing wrestling. They're going to be obviously in school warm-ups and attire. I think it looks much better if they represent your school in some way. If they have something in writing that's not representative of your school, then we're going to pay attention to it, and it might not be appropriate for them to wear. So just have them wear their school attire on the awards presentation stand. Um, the Parade of Champions is going to be the same. We'll send out information. There's information in the packet, but we'll send out additional information of where you're coming from. We'll continue to announce it and try to make sure that everybody's aware of the time frames of when we need you there, which is about 15 minutes prior to the start of the session. The Parade of Champions is on TV. Nebraska Public Media will televise both finals on the girls on Wednesday night and the boys on Saturday afternoon. And those Parade of Champions will be televised as a part of the broadcast. Now, the other attachment that I gave you was the video review information. I was able to petition the NFHS for an experiment. I have been on the NFHS Rules Committee for 8 of the last 14 years, and I have been witness to the proposals of people asking for video review in wrestling. That is easier said than done. There's a lot of things that go into video review, but if we're ever going to get it, then we're going to have to start somewhere. So I've received permission from the NFHS to have the video review in Nebraska. We'll be the first state to do it at the high school level, and I'm excited but apprehensive. So if you look at that information, and I will, you know what, I will send it out again with the link to the meeting. I'll send this attachment again. But the purpose is we're going to try to implement video review in the championship matches only, meaning the first and second place matches that are televised. The number of challenges, and the reason that we do that is if you look at NCAA, I think they give the team 3 per tournament, but they have 60 teams that are participating over a 3-day period. We have over 200 teams participating, and if we give everybody 3 challenges, they're going to inevitably use them. And just the time frame to do that, and the technology and the personnel that's familiar with it to do it is next to impossible. Which is one of the reasons that it has continuously failed. So we are going to do it in the finals only. We have the personnel to do it. We have the technology to do it. So we're going to try it. Each one of the finalists will have one challenge in a match. The challenge, so one school has 3 or 4 finalists. They will get a challenge for each one of those matches. The challenge outcome, if the challenge is successful, the result and it results in a score change, then that coach will keep their challenge because he didn't use it. If it's not, then they'll lose their challenge. There is a number of things that are on the no challenge list, and you need to pay attention to that. We'll have a little card for you at each match so that you know what is challengeable and what's not. Because if you try to challenge something that's on the do not challenge list, you lose your challenge. All right? There are some things with the challenges that we're not going to be able to review, and we're not going to allow to review. So the things that are not reviewable are falls, near fall, stalling, which is a judgment call, fleeing the mat, another judgment call, unnecessary roughness, unsportsmanlike conduct, and false starts. Things that can be reviewed are scoring situations, except for the items that are listed in the no scoring list. Technical violations, which are locking hands, grabbing the uniform, illegal holds, any out of bounds situations, and timing issues, which I don't think are going to be a problem because now that we have the watches, our timing issue questions have,
Do
for the
you
most part,
want? Fine. My
somebody
head coach is
somebody needs
leaving
to
for
mute,
state.
please. And it's a price.
Ron,
All right, so let's keep going here. Uh, let's see. Let me get to my sheet here. So after we have the video, what can be reviewed, then we're going to go to the standards and decision protocol. If the ruling on the mat is considered correct, um, then you'll lose your challenge, and that's unless there's indisputable video evidence that clearly shows the call was incorrect. So if they're not sure or um, they're like we have to stick with the call, they have a decent look at it, then they'll say the call stands and you lose your challenge. If the video confirms the original call, the referee will state, after further review, the coach's challenge on the rule and the ruling on the mat stands. If the ruling on the mat is changed, the following statement will be used. After further review, the coach's challenge, the ruling on the mat is changed, and the official will declare the correct call in scoring. If there are obstructions, if somebody's standing in the way, officials in the way, and the view that we have, and we're only using the view that's coming from the top of the clock. We're not using the camera view from the television. We don't have the technology, equipment to do that. And so we're doing it from our own camera, which will be positioned at the top of the clock, which will show the out of bounds lines all the way around and hopefully uh, very little to no obstruction so we can see that any challenges when we're reviewing them. If there's any kind of system failure during a match and there's no evidence that the system will come back, we will not have any challenges for the remainder of that match until we get it, if we get it fixed. So if the coach challenges and there's a system failure, there's no challenges for the rest of that match on either side. We're not going to give an advantage to coach because the system was working at one time and they're not working for another time. So if there is a system failure, then there's no challenges for the remainder of that match. And if we can have it operational at the beginning of the next match, we'll come back to it and allow it. Um, the coaches, you have to initiate the throwing of the foam brick within a timely manner, which is 5 to 7 seconds after the situation in question occurs. Meaning, if you wait 30 seconds and then you throw the brick for something that happened that long ago, the challenge is not going to be accepted. If a brick is thrown, the referee will stop the match as soon as practical, ensuring that no significant action is occurring at the time of the match is halted. This is pretty standard protocol. If you watch any NCAA wrestling, this is how they, for the most part, how they do it. They have a lot larger challenge list, but this is how they started as well. They had a small list of things that they can challenge, and then they went to, and to be quite honest with you, uh, they're still trying to figure it out. It's not the best. Um, they still take entirely, and to their admission, they take too much time on sometimes to make a decision. We are going to collect data for the NFHS and submit that to them so that they can see how much time each one took, how many were overturned, how many challenges we had during the championships. I say that because, and we see it, and they're going to address it at NCAA. There's too many times that the challenges are thrown when they know that they're going to lose, but they're just trying to get their wrestler a break. I I warn you that if you want this long term, big picture to be a part of wrestling at the high school level, you won't do that. All right. So if it, not that we won't stop the clock, but we're going to try to get back to wrestling. If it's something that we feel is in that manner, where the coach is just trying to take a break or not necessarily challenging something, but more trying to get a rest, then we'll notate that and that'll be part of our information that we turn back into the NFHS, which means that that is detrimental to the long-term ability to be able to have this at the high school level. My guess is I don't know that anybody will submit something to implement, or if they do submit something that it will get passed at the national level yet. We have a 1 year exam, a 1 year opportunity to test this. If it goes well, or if there obviously there's going to be some things that we're going to try to make better as the time goes on, but we'll have to reapply for it next year. It's not automatic. So I'm excited that we're doing it. I hope that you understand that I'm looking at a big picture. I'm full transparency. I voted against it every time that it came up at the national level. And I think that anybody that was on this side of it that is trying to implement it would understand the amount of work that it takes to implement it and make sure that we're getting it right. But I think that we have a good crew. The guys that are making the determination will not be the officials on the mat. It'll be two other officials that are sitting at the table, and then we'll have somebody that's running the computer so that they can get to it in a timely manner, look at it, and get back to wrestling as soon as possible. Are there any questions that we didn't cover in this meeting? I know it's a short meeting, but some of the things that are very important, especially if you're a new coach, is the packet pickup, and you won't be able to get into Lot A until you pick up your packet and have your parking pass.
So in the chat right now, we've got some questions. First, someone asked if you can write a check at Team Packet Pickup. You can. Reminder, it's a school check, not a personal check. Um, then Ron, what time can the girls enter the arena on Tuesday?
So what time is weigh-ins? The weigh-ins for girls are it's 3 o'clock, 1:30. They can get into the facility at noon.
Okay. And then will the ticket office be open during packet pickup?
Yes. Uh, the ticket office will be open during regular business hours so like girls, yes, boys when they're in regular business hours, which are 8 to 4, maybe 8 to 4:30.
Then we asked, what are the camera angles that the refs will be looking at? And you explained that's the one on top of the clocks. Is the main ref reviewing the call or are both of the referees?
There's two referees on the mat, and there's two other referees that will be reviewing the call
All right. And then is the brick to be thrown into the action or in front of the table?
in front of the table. That's a good thing that we need to put on there, in front of the table.
And then for girls on Tuesday, so there's no entry until an hour after packet pickup.
No, if you pick up if you start at 11:30, you can get in there. I mean, we'll probably be there a little bit early, but the doors are supposed to open for teams at 12 you don't need to be in there before 12. It's a 1:30 weigh-in, 12 o'clock, we'll open the back doors for you. And that's an hour and a half before weigh-in, which is 3 hours before competition. You don't need to be in there earlier than that.
All right. If a team has three wrestlers wrestling on the mat, but only two floor passes, how does a coach handle that situation?
Uh, Typically, that is very, very rare because you have three weight classes. You get two lanyards based on your qualifiers. We won't start a match without a coach there. If we have to wait till one of your coaches is available, we'll do that. But we don't start a match until there's a coach there. But you will not get additional lanyards, no.
Then will two school vehicles be allowed in Lot A with the one pass that's in our packet?
No, you get the pass that's allotted for you. If you have additional vehicles, then we have to have a conversation about why. Because and I think the number is, if you have five wrestlers, 1 to 6 qualifiers, you get a parking permit, which is a van. 7 to 12, you'll get two, which is two vans.
Right. And then
We don't
Ryan
have an
asked,
un we don't, the reason that we do that, we don't have an unlimited number of parking passes. That has to do with our workers, our medical personnel, our media, and our teams. So we don't have unlimited numbers. We have an exact number of parking passes, and we don't have additional. We can't give everybody just because you want another pass. We can't give you an additional pass just because.
all right, looks like Ryan asked again what time the packet pickup is for boys. So again, that's Wednesday evening, 4:30 to 8, and then Thursday, 7 a.m. to 7:45, or 11:30 a.m. to 1:15. Some other questions. Can a van drive in to drop off. We can't fit all of our wrestlers and coaches into one van.
I think the best way to do that is go to the front, drop them off at the front. There'll be an entrance right by the ticket office that can go into the arena. So yes, the answer is yes, but then you don't have to go into lot A to do that. Drop them off at the front. They'll be able to let those in, and then you'll go around to the back with the others. Or you can drop them off. You can drop everybody off the front and then go park after the fact.
Want to ask if my assistant coach has a ticket on his phone, can he enter through the athlete and coach entrance?
Yes. But the ones that don't have wristbands will be asked to go up into the seats. I mean, and ultimately, when you get a lanyard, the lanyard will get you back down on the floor because the
All right.
lanyards are interchangeable, the wristbands are not. And the wristbands have a barcode on them, so each time you come in, we're going to scan the barcode, um, just a way for us to track how many people come in and out.
And then another question on going over who's reviewing the challenge, both referees and two more, or just the two ref in the match?
Again, the two referees reffing the match will not be the video review refs. There'll be two additional referees sitting at the table to do the review.
All right. If there's any other questions, you can put them in the chat now. Otherwise, that's everything in the chat.
Those team packet pickup information, the additional tickets, the additional wristbands for coaches, all of that is in that information packet that we sent out. That's also available on our website under either the girls' championship for the girls' information or the boys' championship for the boys' information.
All right. And then Andrew asked, when does tournament appear in the track wrestling season?
After that, we'll match the tournament to the season. We'll do it from our end, and it'll be imported into your season at the conclusion of the tournament.
Um, Looks like Jared asked his assistant coach is on the coaching list. If they use a ticket and then have the lanyard, can they coach and save $20?
Yes, the answer. So yes, if they don't have a coaching wristband, they can still have a lanyard. The answer to that is yes. But I warn you that you need to make sure that anybody has your lanyard is listed on your coaches list because if they're not listed on your coaches list, that could be a problem because anytime there's a warning, anytime there's team points, we take down the coach's name, and that's the first thing we do. We check the coaches list that's submitted by the school, and if they're not on the list, that individual, there'll be repercussions for that.
And those wristbands are equal to the price of all sessions, so they get you into all sessions, not just the ones that you're wrestling in.
Correct.
And then, do we need a weigh-in sheet for state?
No, you do not. We'll create all the weigh-in sheets. In addition, you don't have to put your weights in from your district tournament because no one's changing weights. We know that you made weight, and then we'll create the weigh-in sheets for the championships.
And on the season, there was a mecha display test. Can we delete it?
Uh, don't delete it yet. That is um, we put that on there so that we could test our ribbon boards and our center hung to make sure that they're working correctly. Before you delete it, let me double check and make sure that that's okay because we have a lot of things tied to that are in the system that we've been testing. It's nothing other than us testing all the components. CHI replaced all the ribbon boards, they're center hung, and all new video display boards. So we had to reprogram everything from scratch, and that's why that's on your schedule.
All right. Kobe just asked if you wanted them to accept it.
Oh no, don't accept it. You don't have to accept it.
Yeah.
I think by tomorrow, when we, you'll probably be able to delete it by tomorrow. It's kind of irrelevant on your.
And then some asked if what if they already deleted it?
We're on it, Craig. They can
Yeah.
delete it.
Okay. We should be fine. I think everything is good with the programming in. Any other questions? Good. Those are good, Chris. Those are great questions. If you have any additional after the fact, or you think of anything, send me an email and I'll answer it accordingly. But again, I will send this recording out to all coaches as soon as I have it uploaded, and you can refer back to it, or for anybody that wants their other coaches to see it, it'll be available. Thanks, everyone. See some of you on Wednesday or Tuesday, and the rest of you on Thursday. Have a good day.